Good evening and welcome to AI Pulse, your weekly briefing on the most important developments in artificial intelligence. I'm David Junge, and this program is brought to you by Data and More. It has been an absolutely extraordinary week in AI. We're talking about models with 10 trillion parameters, record-breaking venture capital, groundbreaking healthcare applications, and major shifts in regulation. My co-host Anna is standing by to bring you half of tonight's stories. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into the headlines. Our lead story tonight centers on Anthropic, who have just unveiled Claude Mythos 5, a genuinely staggering 10 trillion parameter language model. To put that in perspective, that is roughly 10 times the size of the largest models we were discussing just 12 months ago. Anthropic say they have specifically engineered Mythos 5 for what they call high-stakes environments, including cybersecurity operations, advanced academic research, and complex software engineering tasks. The architecture places particular emphasis on multi-step reasoning, meaning the model can maintain coherent chains of logic across very long problem-solving sequences. Early benchmarks suggest it outperforms every existing model on graduate-level science questions and advanced coding challenges. This is a clear signal that the parameter race is far from over, and Anthropic are positioning themselves at the very frontier of what is technically possible. The model is currently available through their API, with broader access expected in the coming weeks.
Thank you, David. Now, Anthropic are not the only ones making headlines this week. OpenAI have deployed GPT-5.4, and this release comes with a particularly noteworthy feature called Thinking Mode. What makes this significant is its performance on the OS World Verified benchmark, where it scored 75%. That represents a 27-point improvement over GPT-5.2, which is a remarkable leap in a single generation. In practical terms, this means GPT 5.4 can autonomously execute tasks at the operating system level, managing files, running applications, and navigating complex desktop workflows without human intervention. OpenAI described this as a step towards truly autonomous digital assistants that can handle the kind of routine computer work that currently consumes hours of our time each day. The implications for workplace productivity are enormous, particularly for organizations looking to automate repetitive administrative tasks.
Now let's turn to a story that might sound technical, but could have a massive impact on how all of us use AI in our daily lives. Google's Alphabet subsidiary has released TurboQuant, a new algorithm that achieves a 6-fold reduction in the memory required for large language model inference. They've also demonstrated an 8 times speed up in attention logic computation on NVIDIA's H100 GPUs. Now, why does this matter? Because memory consumption has been one of the biggest barriers to running powerful AI models on consumer devices. With TurboQuant, we're looking at a future where models that currently require server-grade hardware can potentially run on your smartphone or laptop. This is not just an incremental improvement. This is the kind of efficiency breakthrough that could democratize access to advanced AI, putting powerful language models directly in the hands of billions of people who don't have access to cloud computing infrastructure. Google have published the full paper, and the open source community is already working on implementations.
Speaking of democratizing AI, our next story is about DeepSeek, the Chinese AI laboratory that continues to challenge the established players. They have just released DeepSeek V4, a 1 trillion parameter mixture of experts model, and here's the remarkable part. They've released it under the Apache 2.0 license, making it fully open source. The model achieves a 94.7% score on the Human Evil Coding benchmark, which puts it in the same league as the best proprietary models. But what's truly jaw-dropping is the training cost. DeepSeek report that V4 was trained for approximately $5.2 million. Compare that to the hundreds of millions, and in some cases billions, spent by Western labs on comparable models. This raises profound questions about the economics of AI development. If world-class models can be trained at a fraction of the cost and then given away freely, what does that mean for the business models of companies charging for API access? The open source AI community is already celebrating this as a landmark moment.
Now for a story that could quite literally save lives. Noah Labs, a healthcare technology company, has received FDA designation for their product called Vox, an artificial intelligence system that can detect heart failure from just a 5-second voice recording. Let me repeat that. 5 seconds of your voice, and this AI can identify signs of heart failure. The technology works by analyzing subtle acoustic biomarkers in speech patterns that are imperceptible to the human ear, but correlate strongly with cardiac function. In clinical trials, Vox demonstrated sensitivity and specificity rates that rival traditional diagnostic methods, which typically require expensive imaging equipment and specialist consultations. Meanwhile, in related healthcare AI news, a company called Penguin AI has launched a platform that allows hospitals to design their own digital workers. These AI agents can automate tasks like clinical coding, appointment scheduling, and patient triage, potentially freeing up thousands of hours of clinician time. The convergence of AI in healthcare is accelerating faster than many predicted, and this week's developments show just how transformative this could be.
David, those healthcare numbers are truly remarkable. Now, let's look at the money flowing into the AI sector, because the figures from the first quarter of 2026 are nothing short of extraordinary. Global venture capital funding hit an all-time record of $300 billion in Q1 alone, and a staggering 80% of that capital, $240 billion, went directly into AI companies. To give you some specific examples, SpaceX completed their acquisition of Elon Musk's xAI for $250 billion, making it one of the largest technology acquisitions in history. OpenAI raised $122 billion in a round led by Amazon, Nvidia, and SoftBank. And Anthropic secured $30 billion in their Series G funding round. Google also completed their $32 billion acquisition of cybersecurity firm Wiz. The sheer scale of investment suggests that major institutions are making a decisive bet that AI will be the defining technology of this decade. Whether this level of investment proves justified or whether we're in the midst of an AI bubble remains one of the most hotly debated questions in technology today.
One of the clearest trends emerging from this week's news is the industry's decisive shift towards agentic AI. We're moving well beyond the era of chatbots that simply answer questions. The new generation of AI systems can execute complex, multi-step workflows across both local and cloud environments. OpenClaw, an open-source autonomous agent framework, has exploded in popularity, reaching 302,000 GitHub stars. It enables AI to execute shell commands, manage files, and automate web tasks entirely on your local machine. Anthropic have released Operon, a specialized biological research agent. Cursor has launched Composer 2, which can make autonomous multi-file code commits. And Mistral have entered the voice space with Boxral TTS, a low-latency multilingual voice generation system. Alibaba's Qwen 3.5 Omni model can process over 10 hours of audio and 400 seconds of video natively, supporting 113 languages. The message from the industry is clear. The future of AI is not about conversation, it's about action. These agents are being designed to be your digital colleagues, capable of independently handling complex tasks that previously required human attention at every step.
And finally, let's turn to the regulatory landscape, which has seen some truly significant developments this week. In the United States, a federal judge has ruled that the Trump administration violated free speech protections by banning the use of Anthropic's AI models in government systems. This ruling is being closely watched as a precedent for how governments can and cannot restrict AI technology. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom has made a bold move, asserting that California, not the federal government, will decide how to regulate its AI startups. Given that the majority of the world's leading AI companies are headquartered in California, this is a consequential decision that could shape the regulatory environment for the entire industry. Across the Atlantic, the European Union's AI Act is moving from draft to enforcement posture, meaning companies operating in Europe will soon face concrete compliance requirements. The global regulatory picture is becoming increasingly complex, and AI companies will need to navigate a patchwork of national and regional frameworks. That's all from me tonight. David, would you like to take us out?
Thank you, Anna, for that excellent regulatory roundup. What a week it has been. From 10 trillion parameter models to 5-second heart failure diagnosis, from $300 billion investment surges to the rise of truly autonomous AI agents, the pace of change in artificial intelligence continues to accelerate beyond what most of us thought possible. That's all for this edition of AI Pulse, brought to you by Data and More. I'm David Junge. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week with all the latest developments from the world of AI. Until then, stay curious and stay informed.